So we have what we call the Camarillo Acorns. It's a community newspaper. And on April 10th, they had a city council meeting, which I missed. And I'm a little upset about it. There's an article in the Acorn saying, like it or not, 5G is on the way. City challenges FCC ruling. When it comes to preparing for the arrival of 5G technology, Camarillo is ahead of the game in having adopted a regulatory ordinance 4 years ago for wireless communication installations. But just like any other municipality, Camarillo has no special power when it comes to limiting the number of new 5G cell sites that providers can install on its streets and other public areas, the city attorney told City Council last week. That authority ultimately lies within the federal government. Bullshit. The federal government has little control or no control over what the FCC does with this 5G. So that's a lie. Brian Perrick, the attorney, said at the council's April 10th meeting, given the law of preemption, the FCC, Federal Communications Commission, preempts local regularization. The city has to comply, the attorney said. City council members received an update last week on the new FCC regulations effective January 1st that remove local permitting authorities for new 5G microwave towers and equipment. The new rules make it nearly impossible for the cities to reject an application for 5G infrastructure in public places. Consent, people. Debate even the city's being told tough shit. Okay? The regulations are out there, Perrick said. Until they are overturned by a court, the city must follow the federal law, which they're violating our 10th Amendment. Look it up. They've been violating our 10th Amendment since 1996. Goes on to say 5G, short for fifth generation, is the next step up in wireless technology, and carriers say it will deliver speeds far faster than 4G. However, 5G not only requires more wireless installations, but a greater density of them. Through cities have little control over the number of 5G facilities, they do have a say in other areas. Camarillo city officials started looking at regulating wireless communication facilities in 2014 and adopting an ordinance in 2015 that requires those facilities to meet certain can't pronounce that word, standards. Such facilities might either be stealth or camouflage according to the ordinance. Now, across the street from me, I have what is called the Tower of Death. It's a big blue tower. A stealth facility is one that is integrated into a building or a concealing structure. Okay. Well, the tower is not a concealing structure. It's a water tower filled with all those dishes up on top. It's not stealth. They painted it so it mixed in with its surroundings. No, it's bright blue, sky blue. In my opinion, it is not stealth. It is not stealth. A camouflage facility is one that is made to look like a tree, for example, to blend with the surrounding environment in such a manner to render it generally unnoticeable to the casual observer. Under the federal rules that went into effect in January, the FCC allowed cities to update local codes regarding I wish I knew that word of 5G facilities, giving local facilities until April 15th to do so. Well, it's April 22nd, I'm sorry, April 22nd today. So they're passed. But Joe Vacata, Director of Community Development, told the City Council that Camarillo's 2015 ordinance already included a significant amount standards that providers must comply with. We're good, he told the council. Along with setting aesthetic standards, Camarillo regulations prohibit new cell towers is within 600 feet of a residential zone property line. Okay, prohibits new cell towers. Okay, within 600 feet of residential zones. But they need these things every 200 feet. How's that going to happen? Well, they'll figure out a way. Existing structures is what they'll use. Go on to say property owners must be notified by mail about the installation of new wireless communication facilities. Vaca said. Perrick said he reviewed the ordinance and concluded it went as far as it could legally. We have done the maximum amount that we could do in terms of exercising local control. The answer is yes, he said. There isn't anything else we can do at this point. Although the city has taken no action itself to fight the FCC, Camarillo is a member of the League of California Cities, which is embroiled in a case being heard by the 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals over the legality of 5G rules. So they're embedded about the rules. But other than that, the city itself is not fighting the FCC to install it in the city. Some cities, including Thousand Oaks, Simi Valley, have rushed to update or adopt local regulations to deal with the impending arrival of 5G. But like Camarillo, locals are having to confront the fact that their powers are severely limited under the new FCC regulations. Basically, they've increased the amount of microwaves that can be that it gives out. They're violating our 10th Amendment. For example, cities are powerless under the new rules to set minimum distance between 5G facilities. Powerless. They have no control. Putting their thumb down. We have no say. We have no consent. Okay? Even so, some cities are trying to buck the FCC rules, Vaca told council members. Good. Some cities are fighting this. Some jurisdictions are trying to put a minimum distance between facilities. We looked at that and we don't think that's legally defensible. We don't think. They haven't researched it. They haven't looked into it. You think they're going to? No. They're just going to go along and put 5G up no matter what. Goes on to say, in Camarillo, officials are expecting that most new 5G facilities will be installed on streetlight poles, which are owned by Southern California Edison. Okay. In the city's right-of-ways, it's going to have to be pretty challenging to try to have any type of separation based on the use of utility poles, Vaca told city members, council members. What's more, the new rules mandate that cities only have 60 or 90 days to approve or reject 5G applications. Okay, they're putting a rush on it. And there's no longer this long wait. Now they have 60 or 90 days to approve it or reject it, depending upon the type of site being requested. Okay, they're not going to reject a lot of them. I'm just going to go on, approve it, and move on. Even so, under its wireless communication ordinance, Camarillo has authority to deny small cell wireless facilities in the public right of way if an application does not comply with the ordinance. Okay. Meaning they can't put up a new cell tower 600 feet in a residence, but they'll find other ways. That's the whole thing they're saying, the polls. They don't care. They're not going to reject anybody. Goes on to say, so far Camarillo hasn't received any new permit applications from 5G providers, mainly putting up stuff on poles and stuff. New permits, trust me. The old facilities, you see, look back on my videos, they're putting up 5G, people. Verizon has 6G. But fiscal anticipation, the city soon will, like I said, get new permits. In the meantime, Edison officials have informed the city that it will take about a year for the utility to upgrade its light poles to accommodate 5G equipment. About a year. Well, trust me, they're going to put a rush on that. Not going to be about a year. They're doing it now. I mean, you don't know permits, but they're on their way. With the FCC limits on local authorities, cities could potentially end up receiving hundreds of new permits applications for 5G towers on streetlight poles, and they could do nothing to stop them. Nothing. Because they have to accept it because there's nothing wrong with it within their rules. In Thousand Oaks, for example, a consultant determined that the city's wireless provider would need as many as 5,000 new small cell sites to accommodate 5G, which promises speeds up to 10 to 100 times faster than current cellular data capabilities. We all know this. Residents have lobbied their councils to adopt tougher restrictions on microwave towers. Okay? They fear that they'll be deluged with microwave towers and worry that the radio waves the towers emit can cause cancer. Okay? They brought up concerns. They've been to these city council meetings. Okay? But they're not bringing experts. That's the problem. We need to get experts to these city councils. Okay, it goes on to read, such fears are misplaced. Camarillo Councilman Susan Sandigilo, I should know my own city council. We're in double-edged sword with the internet. It's difficult to know what's true and what's not. No, it's not, people. What money have you spent on research of what this does to the human body? Zero. You have spent nothing. Give me that crap. This is difficult to know. She goes on to say she's a registered nurse and she has researched the risk of microwave towers and concluded that they pose no increased danger. Well, trust me, I am writing this council member, and I want to know exactly what research she has done on the effects on the human body that 5G will do. Okay? There is no research that she can do because nothing has been done. Okay? And she's going on that. She's going on other stuff. Okay? I'm just hoping that we can address the fear factor in this. Catch this line, people. She said, let's try to look at what the experts are saying and not go with the conspiracy theories. Let's trust the experts. One-sided. You think she's done any research into the PhDs, people that have PhDs and have researched into, doctors have researched into infidelity, the lack of sperm, and we know the patents have been put up for mind control, crowd control, voice and ear. You think she's researched any of that? No. We're called conspiracy theories. Look at this. It's ridiculous. Let's try to look at what the experts are saying and not go with the conspiracy theorists. Why not go with the conspiracy theorists? Because they also have experts on their side, have gone to the Senate, have gone to council members in their city, and stated the fact that this is dangerous. Okay? This is dangerous. I can't get over this line. Let's try to look at what the experts are saying and not go with a conspiracy theory. Well, to tell you, Susan is a Democrat, for one, in California. Very much against Trump. Because she got into office in 2013. Okay? A U.S. council member. A U.S. representative. Okay? She got in 2013 with the funding of two organizations that back pro-life. Now, I don't care, but that just means she has an agenda. Okay? And you know how Trump's done. So there's a fight there. But let's try to look at what the experts are saying and not go into conspiracy theories. This whole article is full of crap. One-sided. I wished I had known there was going to be a city council meeting for Camarillo, California on the 10th. I would have been there with names of PhD, people with PhDs, doctors and experts, okay? And put my side up the fact that we have experts on our side stating that 5G is dangerous to the human body, okay? Ridiculous. Now, I happen to find another article in here that goes on the good and the bad and the ugly of new tech. Determining the true long-term health effects of the Burkoning 5th generation or 5G cell sites soon to proliferate from coast to coast and right here in Camarillo will have to be laid at the feet of folks much smarter than us. The question of how 5G higher radio frequencies will affect us and our environment probably won't be answered in the near future. Of course not. Of course not. And you think people with symptoms, you think they're going to blame that on 5G? No, they're not. They're not. But the proof is there. They've already given, doctors and everything else have given out, laid out the terms of what effects are going to be caused by this. Dizziness, amnesia, loss of memory, loss of words, upset stomach, burning skin, you know. And it gets high enough and failure, respiratory problems, and basically breaks down your DNA if it gets much higher. They're going to push this to the limits. Okay? Goes on to say the findings of experts and studies fall between no big deal and apocalyptic. We invite readers to submit their letters on the subject. Oh, yeah. Well, trust me. If you look here, the editorial is written by multiple people. Okay? These are the multiple people. Okay? Trust me, I'm writing a letter. Oh yeah. I'm going to speak out, but I'll be called a conspiracy theorist and a crazy man. I have to keep my cool. What we can talk about is the impending plan for the nation's largest telecom to build an infrastructure to support 5G networks to dramatically increase internet speed. And it won't just be for streaming movies on Netflix. The idea is to create a network that aimed for providing the speed to connect the Internet of Things. Think autonomous, cars, homes, air conditions. That's what they're proud of, people. This is what you're going to get with 5G, okay? Internet of Things. Which is stupid. I'm going to the Internet of Things, okay? Internet of Things. I'm going to come up with a better name than that. Goes on to say, last year, the 5-member Federal Communication Commission, FCC, board ruled that local governments have limited authority in stopping telecoms from rolling out 5G wireless networks. Well, didn't it just say in the other article that it's controlled by the federal government? Shit. This is troubling to Ventura County cities that feel the feds have overreached in their mission to increase internet speed. The FCC ruling is being challenged in court. They're not going to win, people. They need to bring every expert there is in the court and show that it's $0 have been spent on research on the effects on the human body. They didn't bother to do it with 4G. I'm sensitive to low frequencies. I have posted videos on my channel here that show this. Okay? Now I'm going to roll out 5G. It's going to do to you what's been doing to me. Messing me up. It goes on to say, according to the League of Californian Cities, which has joined the fight against the FCC, there are 4 big problems with the 5G mandate. First, to make 5G possible, it requires small cell sites to be placed every several hundred feet. Every several hundred feet. This has to do with how 5G radio waves travel through the air. They're direct. They're not spread out. They're direct. So they're just going to be constantly bombarding in vibrations and frequencies. Okay? Constant. I have one 25 feet from my house pointed straight at me. Second, okay, the ruling requires cities to process applications for those cell sites in either 60 or 90 days. Okay, they're not messing around now. They go through. When they're ready to start putting up on Edison poles, bang, 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 they're just going to start showing up, okay? Depending on the type of site, it'll take 60 to 90 days. Third, it cuts the cost of what cities can charge telecoms to install 5G cell sites. And fourth, it lowers the standards of where the sites can go. It lowers the standards of where the sites can go. Against our consent, our 10th Amendment. While Camarillo has created rules and regulations pertaining to of 5G facilities, where they're placed is out of the city's control. Okay? The city has been stepped on. They have been handcuffed by the FCC. Okay? 10th Amendment has been violated. The idea of these metal contraptions taking up so much real estate in our tree-covered city is disturbing it at the very least. So where is our local federal representatives in all this? Okay? Well, it's time to know U.S. Representative Julia Brownley. That U.S. Representative Julia Brownley don't care. She will never care. She is for 5G. Okay, like I said, she's a Democrat and pro-choice, which doesn't matter to me. I'm not in that fight. I ramble. Okay? They want her to organize a town hall style event where concerned residents can ask questions and gain understanding about where the FCC is coming from and where its actions are putting public health at risk. Okay? Whether its actions are putting public health at risk. It's not whether, it is putting public health at risk. There's so much documentation out there that it's going to happen. Now, if the FCC and the telecoms would come up with a plan to stop robocalls, that'd be an accomplishment we can all get behind. See how it switches? Okay? That's great. FCC should concentrate on that. As for health benefits, it would certainly lower our blood pressure. And you don't need a team of scientists to tell you that. Okay? The first article was written by Hector Gonzalez. Hector at theacorn.com. Okay? Like it or not, 5G is on its way. This is my city. In this little article, it says, Cost of Tech. A ruling last year by the Federal Communications Commission, FCC, severely limits restriction cities can put up on the placement of 5G cell sites as telecom begins the nationwide effort to upgrade wireless service. So cities have no say at all. Okay? No say at all on where they can put these things up at. Now, I'm keeping a very close eye of new ones popping up. There's no new ones popping up, but there are old ones that had cell towers. As in the past, you read it has to be stealth or concealed, okay? Camouflaged. I've seen towers along the freeway here. They stick out plain as day. They're not camouflaged. You know, I've seen a few of the trees. They're mixing in the trees. They look so ugly. But there are a few of them that are not camouflaged and they're not stealth. They're sitting out on these huge, gigantic power lines. Anyway, people, this is coming. And this is a nice, polite way, I guess. They're saying, you're screwed. We don't care what you think. You're wrong. You are a conspiracy theorist if you think anything else. This is why I have my channel. This is why I stand up. This is why I try to inform people. It needs to be done, people. Go to city council members. Try to organize and find people that are knowledgeable about the effects and patents that are going to be used with 5G, that the government is coming up with specifically with 5G, that endangers us, has no purpose but to control us, and the medical effects and things that will be done to us like 4G has done to me. I'm embarrassed on some of these videos that I post about myself, but I want people to see exactly what's going to happen when this whole gauge is turned up. This is Sid from Camarillo. Later.